Hey guys, Dwayne here. Wanted to talk to you today about keeping your guard up. I know I've made some other videos about this, don't take in the bait and stuff like that. But I had a situation where it kind of drove this home to me. And the first part of this is you have to always be vigilant. You have to. You always have to keep your guard up, and I hate to say that because you don't want to get to the point where you're paranoid, but you have to, believe what you know. I mean, you know it. So you have to trust that, and that gets easier with time. But in the beginning, you question yourself, okay? And don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap. Don't let them manipulate you. Don't let them get under your skin. Don't let them be able to pretend to be nice, to fake being concerned or whatever it is, because you know that they can be convincing. You have been with this person for enough time. If you're watching this channel, you've been there enough time to know what you know, and to have experienced it already. So it's tough. So I had a situation where took my kids to their therapy appointments, and some information needed to be shared, right? And I've already talked about how I share information. I primarily do it through emails. I don't send questions, I send statements, and try to minimize any opportunity for any interaction because it's pointless. I know what I know. I've been there already. Now, it's really hard when you're starting out. When you don't necessarily, you're still trying to wrap your head around it. You're still trying to believe what it is. And you're like, okay, you know it. In your gut, you know it. But in your heart or your mind, or depending on how you look at it, you question it, right? And then whenever they do something to fake being concerned, you want to believe it. You want to believe it so bad that early on you will let them in. And maybe, no, I was going to say maybe you need to do that to experience it so you can drive the point home. That's really dangerous because every time you open yourself up to that, you have the opportunity of getting sucked back in. And guys, look at it. If you've already been through this once before, if your relationship has gotten to the point, now, okay, so this channel is primarily about, divorce and narcissism and, co-parenting and stuff like that. So if you've gotten to that point, you've gotten to the breakup point, you've already, the dynamic has significantly changed. But prior to that, whenever there was still manipulation going on, that you could probably look at times whenever you maybe were catching on, but you didn't know you were catching on. You couldn't put your finger on it. You didn't really know what it was, but you caught them on it and you brought it out, and they were able, be honest with yourself, they were probably able to tell you what you wanted to hear, to calm you down, to get you back in your little box and get things back to normal. Okay? If you have that experience, if that's happened to you multiple times, believe it, know it, accept it. Guys, it's easier said than done, okay? But, I think it needs to be said again, and you need to hear it multiple times. Because I know for me, I let it back. I never let it back into the point where, I got back into the relationship. However, there were times where it's like, okay, and I've said this before, where, okay, things have gotten, oh, okay, things are changing, things are getting a little bit better, so maybe some of this silliness is done. No, all it was to reel you back in, to get you comfortable, and then to basically prounce again, to basically rechange the dynamic and take control. That's what it is. It is what it is. I hate that phrase, but I mean, that's basically the point. Okay, so this situation, I was following my own rules, right? I mean, I sent the email, I got an email back, which typically, that's kind of amazing because typically that doesn't happen, and there were some open-ended questions, and I'm like, I looked at the questions, and I went through my little matrix that I always go through. Is there a reason to answer the question? No, there wasn't a reason. I provided the information, I shared the information like I was supposed to. There's no reason to get into a discussion. See, guys, I've done it before. I've had, I think the last one where I actually engaged was last year. And, I got the email. It's like, oh, there's this problem. What do you think we should do? Well, I think this is what we should do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know how many it was, but I itemized out what I thought the correct course of action. Now, a couple things could have happened. Let me ask you this. Do you think that the person, well, she in this case, do you think she said, oh, those are great ideas, and implemented any of those ideas? Okay, answer number 1. Answer number 2, or do you think she knew what I was going to do and was able to undercut me and not do the same thing, so it made me look like I was punishing my daughter, our daughter, and wasn't getting punished at her house? That's exactly what happened. I've been there. I've done this. Been there before, done it. So today, get the email back. I'm like, okay, ignore it. It's a transition day. It's the summer, so the transitions for us, we drop kids off. 99.9% of the time, she never comes out. Don't even worry about it. Drop the kids off, getting the stuff out of the car. She comes out, wants to talk to me. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I almost waited to send the email to where it was after I dropped the kids off to eliminate any opportunity for that. Because now see, and this is okay, so this is the problem, right? The problem is it looks normal. You notice that I keep like pointing at my fingers? Hopefully that's not annoying, but it looks normal. It's what a normal person should do. They say the right things. They say, oh, they're concerned, and what about this, and we should do this, and we should do that. Do you really think that they're going to do any of those things? So, don't have a confrontation, right? I mean, and this is where I've talked before. I had another video where I talked a little bit about this, and I'll just reiterate it. You get yourself out of there as quickly as possible without looking odd. And, I answered the questions. I didn't try to create any dialogue. I mean, I didn't answer, yes, no, 1, 2, whatever. I mean, there was a question. I'm like, well, this is what happened. This is what was said. You might want to talk to our daughter for more information, and, have a nice day. And I extricated myself from the situation. So, see, this is the problem for when you divorce a narcissist. You can't get away from them. You can't. Because of the kids, you will always have a connection with this person, whether it's the mom or whether it's the dad. But you can't let it control you. You can't let it destroy you. You can't let it, impact every aspect of your life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All you can do is try to create the best environment for your children. Keep it safe, keep it stable. Try to do everything that you can to demonstrate that there's another way to treat people, that it doesn't have to be that way. you know. I mean, so anyways, in this situation, so shared the information and got out of there as quickly as I could. And you know, the big takeaway on that for me is, you know, it doesn't really ever end. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. So you have to be vigilant about it. You have to keep your guard up. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you've already had the experiences where you know, like I said, you know what you know, you've been there before, you've already experienced it, believe it, and don't let your guard down. You know, something significant has to happen for you to even begin to remotely trust this person. And the problem is, a narcissist isn't capable of acknowledging that they have a problem and doing something about it. You know that. I know that. You know, we all know that. And so, and it's tough, right? Because they are masters at their game. They're not, you know, they're not gods, they're not magicians. It's just a unique skill to be able to manipulate people, to play people, to be able to tell them whatever they want to hear. You know, I mean, you know, most people, I think, have an ability to read a situation, to be able to you know, see what's going on and make a judgment call on what's going on. But these people at their core have an ability to do it. Now, the problem is, well, not the problem, the good part is, you know, they're good at it, but they're only really good at it for people who are susceptible to it, right? You know, I mean, if you are susceptible to it, then you know, it's not like they're masters at this, even though I think I just said that. But what I mean is that, you know, they're masters at manipulating you. But the more that you learn on this, then the less that skill works. But you got to keep your guard up. You have to. And whenever you're dealing with a you know, a narcissist, and it's amazing, right? I mean, because when I was say, when you're dealing with a narcissistic parent, and you know, and I say co-parent, and realistically, it isn't co-parenting, you know, because you can't co-parent with a narcissist. It's more parallel parenting, but everyone's looking for information on co-parenting. You know, I mean, that's what I was, you know, way back when I was looking at it. That's, you know, what I was looking for. All right, so you got to keep your guard up. You have to believe what you already know, and don't take the bait. Don't allow yourself to get sucked in and manipulated. And unfortunately, don't, you know, when they fake concern, you know, be suspect to it until you get some experience where they demonstrate that they are putting the kids, your kids, you know, their best interest at heart, then don't believe it. Don't let yourself in. Don't let yourself get duped. Don't let your guard down. I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, because you want to believe, you want to be able to think that you can have a good relationship. And the problem is, all it is, when they do that, something has happened to where it's like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be concerned and I need to be interested. So I will pretend to be concerned and I will pretend to be interested, but they can't maintain it. You know that. You've already dealt with it. So the only reason I'm saying this is just to remind yourself. So if you're in this situation and you're experiencing it, and maybe you know you're early on in this stage and you're questioning. You see, and this is where this is important, is because in the early stages on it, your mind is just, you know, it's like, well, this can't be. This person isn't that bad. It's their kids. They, you know, this, you know, now they're now actually acting like, not acting. You'll think that they are. You know, they're concerned. They're asking the right questions. A good example of this to back this up: parent-teacher conferences. If your kids are having any issues with, more than likely they probably are, because this is an incredibly stressful situation for kids. They're probably having problems at school. So let me ask you this. Just for a data point to demonstrate that believe what you know. If you have had a parent-teacher conference where things have come up that you both should do to help your child, is the other person doing it? Are they proactive? Are they making sure the homework's being done? Are they collaborating with you to share information to make sure that your kids can't play the two of you against each other? And more than likely, the answer to all those is no. I don't know how many times I've been in situations where the words come out of her mouth saying, that, oh yes, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never happens. So that's what I'm saying. So if you've had that experience, you got to believe it. You got to recognize that that's your reality, and keep your guard up when you're around them. Do not let your guard down. Do not get into friendly banter with them. Do not let them try to pull on memories of positive memories to try to get a connection. Do not do it. Be be cordial, be civil. Think of it like a business meeting with somebody that you have to be around, that you don't really want to be around, but because of your job, because this technically is your job, that's what you need to, however you have to dig down to approach it, that's what you have to do. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyways, this one isn't fun, but hopefully it's helpful. And this is where it's important to get your skills up on this, because sometimes these things happen and you don't expect them. If there's really not much communication and you don't have any interaction and it's all in email or whatever, you have more control over your response or whatever. But whenever you're in a situation where you're around the narcissist and you have to have a conversation with them, you have to have your skill sets up so you can't get sucked in. You can't get manipulated. You can't be played. You can't be turned, or all those things. And the crazy part is that it's a fine balance, right? Because if you come across too standoffish, then they get to say, oh, it's so sad that the other person is so irresponsible and can't get over it, and they're angry and all that other stuff. That is their own narrative. Don't worry about it. Don't get involved in it. Don't, let other people believe whatever the heck they want to believe. That has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you in your life and how your life is going to get better and what you're going to do to make the life of, the life of your kids and your future better. So just don't go there. Okay. All right. Hopefully this video is helpful. I haven't said this in a while, but if you have a comment or a way I can improve this video, please let me know. Send me a site message, or put a comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel, subscribe. And if there's anything in particular you want me to cover, let me know. Or if there's something I need to elaborate on, let me know. If there's something that I've said wrong that you don't agree with, let me know. I'm doing this to try to help the community on this whole co-parenting, trying to deal with it. Well, not co-parent. I keep saying co-parenting, but whenever you're in a divorce situation and you have kids, because it is a complicated situation that is a really long, difficult situation. Okay. All right, guys. So hope you're doing well. You're going to learn how to deal with this. You're going to get better. You're going to get the skills to work through this. I know you are. I know it. You need to know it. All right, guys. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.